started. Welcome back. We got a new video today. It's really a continuation of a few days ago. I got out here and I started working and I never did finish. The G8, I put a new alternator on it. That went cool. All that is done. It went in pretty smooth. It's done riding, driving now. So we back to the Iroc. So like I said in the last video, here's the old alternator that came off the G8. We put that to the side. I guess it wanted to go in the box. Never mind. I might need some hands. Alright. Here we go. So we got the new starter for the Iroc. And it came with shims. I've never messed with starter shims, so I'm hoping it don't need any. If no none come out, I ain't putting none in. I don't even know like how to judge if they needed them or not, to be honest. But yeah, that was different too. But yeah, so like I was saying last time, the starter was broke on this car once I got up under it, and what I'm hoping that that I could put a new starter in there today and it'll fire up. I did take spark plugs out because I was putting like WD-40 down the cylinders. I thought it was seized up, so that's what I was doing to like, you know, start prepping to unseize it. So I got to put the spark plugs back in or go and get new spark plugs because they do look a little fouled out. You know what, I guess they not that bad. I don't know, they ugly, but they out of work, maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna try and start it up with those, and if that don't work, then I'll go get some new spark plugs also. But yeah, so we're gonna put the starter on and put the spark plugs back in, and I got a fully charged battery. What else? It's got fluid. So yeah, hopefully it starts. If it starts, I'm probably gonna immediately turn it off. This is 19 years it's been sitting, so 19 years with the same oil, same coolant, same everything in this car. So I'm not gonna try to run it too long with you know, knowing that. So yeah, if it starts up, that'll be I'm gonna be a happy young man. If not, it don't matter, man. Honestly, I want to LS swap it anyway. Like, for the price I got it at, if it don't start, if we got a bigger engine problem or whatever, I really don't care. I was probably go swap it anyway, so I ain't tripping. But I'm gonna stop rambling and get on there and put the starter in. Like I said, fingers crossed that that's the only problem and it starts right up. Alright, we got some basic hand tools. That should be all we need. I think usually it's like a 14mm bolt that holds the startup, and then it's gonna be like a 14 and a 8mm that holds the wires on the starter. So this should do it. Let's get on there and see what we're working with. Guess I'll start off with I think it's 14. Definitely gonna need a longer socket. I mean extension. I hate to have to look up starter removal on 88 Camaro. Like, it has to be something I'm missing. Oh, come on, starter. Help me help you. Ow. Ow, ow. Alright. God, this thing is heavy. Alright, so turns out you gotta push the back end up into the engine bay and then bring the nose out first. I don't know how long that just took to get out, but it felt like too long, way too long. But I guess thankfully I didn't have to cut the exhaust or something, because I was thinking about it. Alright, as far as I can tell, it didn't have any shims in there, so.
This is the way I did it.
Alright, my battery is about to die, so I'm not going to record this part, but basically we're just putting the spark plugs back in the cylinder head. Nothing that, I don't know, I doubt it's anything you guys want to see, so I'm going to go ahead and put those spark plugs back in, and then I'll get back to you all. Hopefully, fingers crossed, like I said, we're starting it in the next clip, so we'll see. Alright, we got the spark plugs back in finally. The starter is up, so no worries there. What's next? I checked the fluids before, they were all topped off. They are old 19-year-old fluids, so like I said, I'm not gonna run the engine too long. But yeah, battery's on. Yeah, we can fire it up. Let's see if she fires up and runs. What am I forgetting? Oh. You know what I just realized? All right, so when I bought this car, man, one thing about Iroc, you can't open the doors. They got like weak frames or unibodies or whatever. So if you jack the car up and open the door, most times you won't be able to close it, or you won't be able to open it. But yeah, so when I bought this car, I think they lost the keys, or I don't know what they did with the keys. The keys that came with the car didn't work, none of them. They didn't work to the T-tops, they didn't work to the doors, like the ignition key didn't work, none of them. So I think they misplaced the keys. They think they just stopped working for whatever reason. I don't think that's the case. I bought another ignition switch, but it ended up being like from a newer year, I think. From like maybe a 90, 91, 92 Camaro maybe. Because those had airbags. This had like an airbag sensor on it. So I bought that just to get the car going and get it home. But I took it back since it was the wrong one, and I meant to go and get a new key cut to this ignition or get another one that was for this ignition, and I forgot. So what I'm gonna do is, let me get a light. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is, there's like a gear or something down there. You see that? That little gear, the black one. That's what got to turn to start the car. I'm gonna try and use a screwdriver and like kind of shove it in there a little bit, get a little bite on it, and hopefully that'll start it. I got a screwdriver here somewhere. Oh, there we go. It's working. Damn. All right, I don't think that's gonna work. Okay, what are my options? What's going on? Alright, let me get back to y'all when I figure this out. Alright, I went to the store and got a new ignition switch for the car. Luckily they had one in stock right around the corner, so now is the time we finna turn it. We go see if it starts up for us. I'm nervous as hell, honestly, but you know what? Let's just do it. Let's do it and see what happens. If I could find the key. There we go. Alright, first start after sitting for 19 years. Exactly 19 years. Let's see what she does. Oh, first problem. Key won't turn. That's so weird. That is so weird. That's almost like what the last key was doing. Oh, you know what? Put it down. So with the ignition in, it won't turn, but out, it will. That is very weird. Okay. I had it turn now. But it's not giving me nothing. Why is it not doing anything? It's in park. It clicked before when I put the when I was messing with it when I picked it up with the other ignition switch. It did click, like I got it to click before. So what could it be? What could it be? We gotta check and see if we can power it to starter now. I guess I don't know. That's like the only thing I could think of. So let's see. Pretty sure the battery is charged, so I'm gonna get this out the way. Man, I cannot wait to get a new garage. This garage is way too cramped, and I don't do it no justice by keeping it so messy. But hey, let's see. Let me see. Where does this wire go to? What does this wire go to? We got a hot wire or somewhere, I don't know. I don't know if it's hot or not, but it's going over here to that, actually. The mice have chewed through that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what that's for. I don't think that's the reason it's not starting either. I forgot this car needs a belt too. You know what? Let me just figure this out and then I'll get back to you. Cause honestly, I have no, I don't know why it's not clicking and turning over. It's a new starter, so maybe I didn't tighten the wires up, or maybe it's like rust on the wires where they're not getting a good contact. But let me find out and then I'll get back to you all. Alright, I found out that I actually have put the starter wire on wrong. I put it on like the wrong spot. So yeah, I got the ignition switch in. I got the starter wired up right this time. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I did want to get the first start on camera if it does start. So let's see what happens. Alright, it started up. I mean, it didn't start. It turned over, you know what I meant to say. It turned over, so that's good. That's good. I don't hit no type of fuel pump, so I'm assuming that the fuel pump is probably gone out in some way, form, or fashion. So I expected that though. The good part is it turned over. but I didn't lost all daylight, so I guess I could run to the store and get some starter fluid just to see if I can get it to pop. Part cleaner, that's kind of not flammable. Yeah, I mean it turned over. That's the good part. It turned over. So you know what? It still feels good outside even though it's dark. I'm gonna run to the store and see if I can get a can of starter fluid and get her to start. It started. Oh, oh man. Alright, it started. I'm happy, man. I'm happy as hell. So we got this 19-year, not 19-year-old, but the car's been sitting for 19 years. And a new starter and some starter fluid, and it started. I expected it to be I honestly expected it to be like knocking or something because of the fluids being so old, but yeah, it started right up. So the fuel pump either, I don't know, like either it ain't got no gas in it or the fuel pump is probably gone out. I don't hear a fuel pump kicking over, so I'm gonna assume that it's gone out. That's more complicated than usual on this car because I think you got to drop the rear end to get the fuel tank out, to take the fuel pump out, etc., etc. I'm not really worried about all that. I built these cars from front to back a few times before, so uh, I'll get that done. My thing is, it started. It don't sound like it got no exhaust leaks. It ran smooth for the few seconds that it did run, and yeah. Oh man, I'm happy as hell. Okay, so I guess the next thing we got to do is go through the fuel system. So I'm probably gonna drop the tank, replace that pump, replace the fuel filter, and you can hear the. It started. Oh, oh man. Alright, it started. I'm happy, man. I'm happy as hell. So we got this 19-year, not 19-year-old, but the car been sitting for 19 years. And a new starter and some starter fluid, and it started. I expected it to be I honestly expected it to be like knocking or something because of the fluids being so old, but yeah, it started right up. So the fuel pump either, I don't know, like either it ain't got no gas in it or the fuel pump is probably gone out. I don't hear a fuel pump kicking over, so I'm gonna assume that it's gone out. That's more complicated than usual on this car because I think you got to drop the rear end to get the fuel tank out, to take the fuel pump out, etc., etc. I'm not really worried about all that. I built these cars from front to back a few times before, so I'll get that done. My thing is, it started. It don't sound like it got no exhaust leaks. It ran smooth for the few seconds that it did run, and yeah. Oh man, I'm happy as hell. Okay, so I guess the next thing we got to do is go through the fuel system. So I'm probably gonna drop the tank, replace that pump, replace the fuel filter, and you can hear the